All right, so now we've got that working. Hmm. Hmm. God. Oh, fuck, only 4 hours sleep. Yeah, let's go with that one. And of course, you're not going to work. Hmm. Don't you hate that? Now, why have you decided to be a... Oh, I know it's wrong. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm a dumbass. Oh. Ugh.
Brand new social space, the Hall of Champions, that we're going to go ahead and check on out. Kelsey, shall you? Kelsey's the one who's responsible
Oh,
for
it
taking us
messed
through
with my
that. So, shall you return to the
settings.
throne world, obviously, and dive on in?
Bring me your tithes.
Perfect, excellent. That's right. There are tithes to be gathered. Now, while we're on the way, Tom, Hall of Champions is a brand new social space here in Destiny 2. Where is this? Where are we gonna where's this place been? Why are we checking it out now?
So Shaxx has carved out just a little bit of the backstage of the tower.
Yeah.
And you're gonna see a few little fun nods here to Destiny history.
Yep. All right, we're looking at it now on screen.
Yeah, we've got Kelsey on screen here. We got Sweepybot, and this is actually the lead up to the Hall of Champions.
This is where they keep it all the time.
Yeah, this is where there's an off season for a lot of the holiday events.
Yeah. Little pile of
And,
snow.
And yeah, there's a little snow there. There's some greenery.
This is interesting. All right, so we found a bit of the storage room to a degree. So he's carved out space maybe that has been hiding in plain view potentially for other sweeper bots or red jacks around the tower.
And there's some
The
stuff
hell
on
happened there?
The Onslaught
Ah.
ADU.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Some little
Noah put it here himself.
no, and all the space. Like if we just take a step forward, you're gonna see. There we go. Here's the Champions Hall.
Here we
the Hall of
go.
Champions.
All right, so this is the Hall of Champions.
And just like Xur kind of carved out Eternity for the 30th anniversary, Shaxx has kind of set this space aside for us and Into the Light, where all your armor, your weapons, your rewards. This is going to be your home base for Into the Light.
Excellent. Awesome. All right. Well, Kelsey, can you go ahead and show us a little bit? We're going to go ahead and walk up here. We see a whole bevy of chests, actually. Let's go ahead and start there. What are we looking at, and how do we go ahead and start cracking these open, rather?
Yeah, so as you can see, this space is just full of chests. As you can see here, all the class icons on the floor, a little bit like 30th. You can come here to redeem this currency, Trophies of Bravery, that you're going to earn from completing Onslaught and from playing the broad game in Destiny. So all of these trophies here, if you progress your hype with Shaxx, you'll be able to spend them here at all these chests to get a really cool set of armor. I can pull open my character so you can see what that looks like on the Hunter.
That's right. Also, too, so for the folks at home, we went ahead and mentioned this as well online, but as a quick reminder, this is actually an armor set that's inspired by year 1 of Destiny 2. Tom, this is the parade armor set, I believe is what we're referring to it as?
So like it's the D2 year 1 parade armor.
That's right. Yeah.
You had it in Homecoming. It's kind of a classic set. We're again like full circle here with we were like beginning the Destiny 2 saga there, and now we're kind of ending the fight here. We're getting ready to take the fight to the Witness, and Shaxx has got this iconic set of armor. We're calling it the Parade Armor 2.0.
Yeah.
And everyone can earn it. It's available to all players.
Excellent.
And there's some other cosmetics we can show
How
up here.
can I
to kind of
fix
with it.
that?
Very nice. And also, too, for folks out there, we have the Hunter here. Actually, Kelsey, can we check out the armor set one more time?
Yeah.
For the folks at home. Also, too, so this is an up-close and personal look, obviously, at this armor set, which will be available to everyone that goes ahead and jumps into the Light. Also, too, there's a Titan set and a Warlock set, we should also say. That you can go ahead and see in the key art as well, but obviously this will be arriving on April 9th, so you'll get a chance to go ahead and go
it's
on.
better.
But yeah, it's looking fresh, honestly. I wouldn't be upset to go ahead and don that armor. Oh boy, and
Yeah,
there's
it's really interesting, like setting all these. We're working on all this stuff because we were kind of waiting to finally see that set, and finally being able to equip it in game was just such a cool experience.
Yeah, honestly. All right, so we're obviously equipped. We've got an armor set that we're going to go ahead and be chasing down, but we're now hanging out with Shaxx, and is that our site over there as well?
Yes, that is our site.
Excellent.
And one last chest I want to point out here.
Oh,
too.
please.
This one is going to be your hub for just grinding out weapons. So those trophies that you'll be collecting with Shaxx, you can just keep redeeming them here, and you'll be able to get all your guns here. And this one here is, we're bringing back the Gift of the Thunder Gods. So if you need to catch up on your power level to make sure that you're like ready to hop right in, that's something you can do as well.
That's right. And honestly, it's again, as a reminder, this is available to all players. And so if you've got any friends that maybe aren't quite at that powerful cap, also too, actually, to double check, this will bring folks up to the powerful cap, was it?
Powerful, not pinnacle.
That's right. Okay, perfect. All right. So for your friends that want to go ahead and dive in right alongside you, even if they maybe haven't played, very much recently, they got a chance to go ahead and just catch right up.
They'll be ready.
Be ready for day one. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and talk to Shaxx actually as a starting point. So how are we going to be working with Shaxx? Obviously, he's opened up his Den of Antiquities to us. But Kelsey, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so we need to pull out all the stops in defeating the Witness. So Shaxx has opened up his brave arsenal for us. And as you can see, Shaxx is really like the shining star of this area. I've been kind of panning by all these hollow Shaxxes that line the space, which I'll be happy to talk about in a moment.
Oh yes.
But yeah, let's go talk to him and see what he's got. So over the course of Into the Light, as you earn reputation with him, you're going to be able to progress and get all this cool stuff. One thing in particular I want to point out.
Interesting.
This key.
A super black key. Is that what I'm seeing over there, Kelsey?
Yeah.
Super
Interesting,
black
okay.
key.
Yeah, and I wonder where that goes.
So maybe people that are D1 vets potentially from back in the day might remember this. Is this what's this symbiote we're looking back here?
Yeah, right now it's pretty powerful. It's in containment, but if you keep playing Into the Light, you'll be able to get access to the keys you need to unlock this, and get access to the shader.
Oh, it looks like Siva.
All right, so obviously too, yes, as a reminder, heads up to everyone, so one of the ultimate rewards available through this will indeed be the return of the Super Black Shader. It's back, finally, it's back. There's probably some song lyrics going on with that, I couldn't tell you what they are, but I will say to the Destiny Fashion subreddit, we are prepared for you to go ahead and take this on wholesale. So actually, let's go ahead and take a look. Let's go ahead and just equip Super Black and give it a look really quickly. Chat, how do you feel?
Edgy boy hunter.
Much better than that.
Ew.
Excellent. All right.
Yeah.
So Shax is obviously going to be there to help us get rewarded.
Edgy
In addition to
boy
Brave
hunter is
Arsenal and
happy.
the armor, Super Black is waiting for us. So tell us a little bit about Arsight as well. Actually, he's I'm not sure if many people in
Edgy
chat
boy
know about him.
hunter
He's usually
is
in more
gonna
entries,
be
but, Let's
happy.
go ahead and get a look and see what we're going to be working with him on.
Yeah. So Arsight has a lot of quests for us, and we did some pretty interesting things. in my
Oh, he's
opinion,
got what?
with some of the quests you can pick up from Arsight. They're going to unlock a couple things. They also have very fun puns that we had a lot,
Oh,
a
they've
lot of fun
brought
working
back the
on.
D1 system.
So for every single weapon that we're going to be talking about today, there's a corresponding quest. Once you've completed the quest for that weapon, you're going to be able to unlock access to that weapon dropping as rewards. But there's two other really cool things that we can talk about there. One, we have these special limited edition appearances for the Brave Arsenal.
Yeah.
So completing these quests, you're going to get a guaranteed, curated copy of these limited edition weapons.
Excellent.
Which I'm happy to show. They look rad. And you'll unlock attunement, which is something I can talk about in a second.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let's take a look at some of these.
So here's a look, of course. Obviously, for the folks at home,
Mountain
maybe
top.
you remember this one. I get a hound
Yes.
cat, obviously, get a little excited, but I know it's so exciting. The mountaintop has returned.
What's the origin
So
perk?
this is a quick look at the mountaintop. Obviously, Chris, we're going to dive in more with the whole Brave Arsenal in a little bit, but this is, I believe she touched on the limited edition versions of these, the ornaments that exist on there. Can you tell us a little bit about what the limited edition variants of these are that are?
Oh, I
available
like
to Spin the Light?
that.
Sure, yeah. So the Brave Arsenal weapons will drop from Onslaught, and we're talking a little bit about.
Oh,
the
has
human
that got the
whatnot.
original
There is
origin
a,
perk on it? No
low
way.
chance that one will drop as a limited edition variant, which comes pre-equipped with a super shiny ornament that's
Yeah.
locked to that weapon.
Yeah.
So the Edge Transit here is the limited edition variant.
Oh, I wish they had to change that to strained.
Levels of fancy.
Yeah.
So you can't apply shaders to the ornaments. You have to remove the ornament first.
Got it.
The ornaments will only be available up until the final shape launches.
Yeah.
Or the limited edition variants.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So the base versions will continue to be available.
All right. So there's the ultimate I was there version with the limited
Okay,
edition
so
on
I'm
there,
gonna
but
be
other than that,
farming a
after
lot.
The final shape launches, people will still be able to get these weapons and keep farming for them.
Yeah, there's like they have super cool visuals. They drop with double perks in both trait columns. but
Hammerhead.
They don't have any other gameplay differences. So if you've got a great base weapon, you don't need to go and get
Just cosmetic.
cosmetic only.
Fair enough. Makes sense. Absolutely. All right, we're going to be able to test these out in a little bit. So
Mate.
obviously, we're going to go through all of these here in just a bit. Chat, there's a taste of just a few. We're glad that you get a chance to go ahead and check it out. But also, too, for the
Oh,
folks
it's
that wanna
got
go
the,
ahead and
the
farm these
logo
things
on
up.
the
Kelsey, I believe you just mentioned
reticle.
attunement. Can you tell us a little bit more about that before we move on?
Yes, I'd love to.
I like
So,
it. Look at this room.
One cool thing that you can do when completing these weapon quests, once they're available at Arsight, is attune to a weapon. So let's say that there's a weapon you really want to drop. You can bend luck in your favor and make it more likely for that weapon to appear. So, for example, I can do that now. Let's do Recluse.
Yeah.
So,
Chat seems to be pretty hyped on Recluse.
so if you're looking around, you'll see there's all of these Shaxes everywhere, which we just had an
Ooh.
absolute blast working with and coming up with. And once you've unlocked attunement, you can just freely do this at any time. You can change your attunement at any time. you can choose which weapon has a higher chance of dropping. So I'm going to do it now.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
There we go.
Got our thumbs up. We're
Get
good.
the affirmation from Shax. Never hurts.
Yeah, I can always use more affirmation.
It
So
never hurts, honestly. He
focused
shouts them very
farming.
effectively, I might add.
Yes. So yeah. At any point, you can just visit another one. I could even just go and, unattune and reattune to my heart's content. Just once you've unlocked it, you can do that at any time.
Awesome.
So yeah, pick your favorites that you want to chase, and you'll have a much higher chance of getting them.
Excellent. All right. Obviously, the Hall of Champions has a lot in store. There's even more, obviously, chat than is even here, but we see what you're saying in chat. I feel the electricity in the air. I should also note one more thing. You should all go out and farm with impunity to go ahead and get the rolls you want, ultimately, because with the arrival of the final shape, we'll indeed be adding 100 more vault slots. So go out there, grab the rolls, grab 27 Edge Transits, hold on to them until you get a chance to Google which one has the God roll. All up to you, but we just wanted to let you know that with the
More
arrival
vault
of the final shape,
space.
you'll be getting 100 more vault slots. So go ahead and dive on in and grab
I
whatever.
do
you
wish
wanna
they
go
would
ahead and
add
chase.
it 200 instead, but
all right.
100, I'll take it.
I think that's a solid tour of the Hall of Champions. I think maybe at this point we go ahead and start diving on in with the Brave Arsenal. Tom, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'll hop in. Let's go clean out some lost sectors.
There we go.
Guns.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We got some demos to run as well. All right, everyone. So this is
Chelsea
that's a
Origin
quick look
perk.
at the Hall of Champions as well. Now we're going to go ahead and dive on in and look at the Brave Arsenal. Now, Chris, obviously you were intrinsically involved with kind of setting this whole thing up, with building the Brave Arsenal, deciding what was out there.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you guys landed on this iconic set of Destiny weapons for Into the Light?
Yeah, and we all have our own favorite weapons internally, and wanted to make sure that we delivered on a ton of nostalgia for the whole Destiny 2 weapon set.
Yeah.
If you look on Reddit or Twitter, there are hundreds of weapons that these could be. We
Yeah.
had to narrow it down to 12. It's like we couldn't reasonably fit any more into the activity.
Yeah.
We couldn't
Blast
necessarily afford to
furnace.
make many more than that.
Here we go.
So it's a whole set of weapons from across.
What's the
a
origin
few recent ones. Most of them are
trait
from
and the
earlier Elite
perks?
history.
So for those who have been terrorized by Blast Furnace and the Crucible, it's back now.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, Tom, let's go ahead and just kind of walk through these. Let's go ahead and take us at a hung jury I see next as well.
Sure, I can just. Do you want me to?
Okay,
I'll just
start with the
mouse
blast.
over them here. Blast furnace, hung jury,
Jury returns as well.
session.
Oh.
For anyone that hasn't had a chance to dive into Deep Stone Crypt, they can get their hands on a
Midnight
red weapon as
Coup?
well.
Yeah, I should just touch on Succession. And there's,
Yeah, please.
4 variants in there as well. But these are fairly recent weapons, but they are, by default, you have to own the release that those raids came out in. So you have to own Beyond Light if you want to get Succession. You have
Right.
to own Witch Queen if you want to get Forbearance.
Yeah.
The Onslaught versions of these weapons, or the Brave Arsenal versions, are available to all players. So you get a taste of
Oh,
what,
so you can
the raw
actually
power
get
of a raid weapon.
forbearance
Yeah.
from this?
Which honestly, once you get Succession in your hands, suddenly everything feels so alive. Like it's like a ton of bricks.
Show
Let's
us
see,
the
We also have, there we go, Midnight Coup. For anyone who watched last week, thank you, Noah, as well, for going ahead and showing this off. Midnight Coup obviously makes an incredibly triumphant return. Just look, actually, can you adjust it just so it shows the waves in the shader,
I
Tom?
do love
There
that
we go, there we go.
emblem on
That
the
never
side
gets old,
there.
honestly.
That looks beautiful.
Harkens back to one of my favorite times in the Black Armory. Excellent. All right, so we have a full list here. So we've gone over all of them in the primary slot. Let's go ahead and move on down to the green ammo selection as well. Obviously,
Recluse.
chat, you've all noticed that. We're just as happy that it's back as you are. Let's go ahead and take a look at what else we got in store there.
Luna's Howl.
Howl, of course. Actually, in particular with Luna's Howl, I know we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but these weapons are not necessarily their previous estate, just kind of held in stasis, but you guys have brought them forward with new perks. You've kind of done some redesigns as well. With Luna Howls in particular, you were mentioning that the
Ooh,
Magnificent
heel
Howl perk
click.
has undergone a rework as well.
Yeah, in its original shipping form, that was way too strong because it would let you 2-tap a Guardian in PvP incredibly fast with the perk up.
Yeah.
180 RPM. So we've brought Luna's Howl forward as a 140 RPM hand cannon, but it retains the precision frame, so it's super easy to control the recoil.
Yeah.
We've also redesigned the Magnificent Howl.
I am going to be
so
farming
that
the
now lets you build up
shit out of
units
this.
Super bullets. A little bit reminiscent of Hawkmoon.
Yeah.
With precision final blows.
Yep.
And then you can unleash those on Guardians to do massive damage. You can get a 2-tap, but it requires a little bit more effort.
Yeah.
And obviously very strong in PvE as well.
Yeah, got to bide your time and actually land those headshots.
Yeah.
I'm saying that mostly to myself in the mirror as I get upset for losing another round of trials, but
So we had two hand cannons in this release, Midnight Coup and Luna's Howl.
That's right, yeah.
We assigned those to two different designers.
Yeah.
And there's a competition going on to see which one is more popular or is more effective.
Oh, really?
So
everyone out there in chat right now should let us know which one of those two ends up being their favorite.
Yep.
We have an actual debt to settle internally here by the sounds of it. Which one do you think is going to win, Chris?
I'm a little biased.
Little biased?
I have my Midnight Coup from the
What are the
Leviathan
other two
Race from the Vault.
weapons?
Oh, yeah.
I'm deeply attached to that
One
weapon.
looks
Fair
like
enough. All right.
forbearance.
Let's see here. All right. Also, Elsie's. So actually, here's a cool one as well.
Ooh.
This is no longer the Stranger's rifle. This is Elsie's rifle now.
Yeah, Elsie's no longer a stranger.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, this is a really iconic Destiny 1 weapon that everyone who played through the Destiny 1 campaign would have acquired as
Yeah.
the Stranger's Rifle. It's come forward with as close to its original feel as we could manage, updated for the Destiny 2 sandbox. It's got a ton of cool new traits. It's really very, very strong, high impact
Yeah.
pulse rifle. It's running the Rewind rounds perk,
Oh, yeah.
which we made for Bolt of Glass.
Yeah.
The D2 version, which harks back to the original perks on the Stranger's Rifle in D1 as well.
And this one already looks filthy, if I might say, with Zen Moment and Desperado on there. Like
Desperado, yeah.
Did the room get colder, or what just happened? Honestly. And also too, so there's a new. Actually, as long as we're there, Tom, if you wouldn't mind actually opening that back up, there's a new origin trait, pardon me, as well on these.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, the Indomitability trait. Final blows with light subclass equipped Grand Grenade Energy. and
Could
with
come
dark
in handy,
subclass equipped
especially with
Zen
healing
Melee.
grenade.
Excellent.
So you get like that sort of duality, and they're reasonably strong perks.
Yeah, designed to keep you in the fight either way.
Yep.
Excellent. All right, Tom, let's go ahead and keep checking out. What else do we have in store here? Forbearance as well. So this is, you were talking about obviously getting that taste of raid weapons.
Yeah.
How did you guys go ahead and bring Forbearance forward also to
It
Into the
doesn't
Light?
have the
Add new
Soul
perks to
Drinker
it?
perk
What
on
did
it
you guys end up
though.
doing to kind of retain that classic feel?
Yeah, so we wanted it to feel like the Witch Queen version, but with slightly updated perks. So the perk pools are fairly similar, but with a couple of spicy additions. So you'll notice Disruption Break left column on a waveframe grenade launcher, super, super strong.
Yeah.
It's not something that you get on the original
That'd
version.
be disgusting.
Yeah, but it's got all of the old classics. And
Yeah.
It's got the new Indomitability Origin trait instead of the Soul Drinker trait. And that's the same is true of any other weapons which had already shipped with Origin traits.
Yeah. Oh, it looks so good with that ornament on there. And of course, I think was that a limited edition ornament on the Recluse as well that you have over there?
Yep, there's a base
just
and a
look at the.
Oh, let's take a look. There we go. That's, again, the ultimate I was there. As you go ahead and begin your showdown with the Witness with the arrival of the final shape.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I'm
pretend
definitely
one
going to
of
be
these things,
farming for
obviously, to
these.
Go ahead and make a statement the moment you walk into the room.
Yeah, and this one is the curated version. The natural drops of the limited edition variants do have
Double perk up? That's right. Yeah. Excellent. And of course, our beloved Edge Transit.
Yeah,
Couldn't
when
keep
we
it
were-
away if we wanted to.
When we were looking at the fan favorite weapons, like we wanted to bring.
God,
forward some
just
of
when
the
you
strongest
thought you'd seen the
weapons.
last of that
Yeah.
gun.
Everybody has like fond memories of blasting away raid bosses with that transit.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. There's amazing memes associated with this weapon.
Yeah.
We actually brought it forward as one of the strongest heavy ammo grenade launchers.
Yeah, I was going to say, we were talking about that earlier. You're saying this one just hits like an absolute ton of bricks now.
Oh yeah, you can see some of the perks there. It's pretty wild.
I mean, honestly, yeah, this is already looking pretty good. This is one that would obviously find a home in my loadout. My Void one specifically, but I'm also picky about that kind of thing. All right, what else do we have here in this bottom row? The one and only, the Falling Guillotine. Now, actually, one thing that you mentioned as we were kind of talking about this earlier as well that was kind of cool is this is also going to be probably the first sword outside of those available in Crota's End, I believe, that has sword logic on it as well.
Yeah,
that's
that's right.
roll with sword logic.
Seemed like a great opportunity to put that perk on something that isn't from that raid, and
Yeah.
a little bit earlier than we would normally put raid perks onto a new weapon.
Yeah. I'm also going to
Seemed
echo
like-
chat here for a second. Is that Eager Edge I see on there?
That is an Eager Edge, yeah.
Okay.
It'll only be the second sword outside of 30th.
Yeah.
Have access to
It
that.
would basically just be the Slammer and then the Falling Guillotine
Yeah,
from... Yeah, that's it. That's actually exciting.
Yeah, and this one has like the classic Void perk combo of Repulsor Brace,
Yeah.
destabilizing rounds. It's good fun, and a lot of other strong
It just doesn't get old, honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we're also joined by the Hammerhead. Hammerhead, honestly. It's as long as you're dipping your toe into the world of the Black Armory, this is obviously one that has to come forward.
Everyone's favorite legendary machine gun.
Yeah, seriously.
You can't go past it.
It just from the sound to the rate of fire, everything about it.
Bit
just is
disappointed
one
that
of those
Kindled
on my
Orchid
memories of my
didn't
dream
come
girls,
forward.
honestly, at this point. This is looking fantastic. All right, so we have a whole cast of characters. Now, Tom, you've got some loadouts set up. You've got some lost sectors that you're going to go ahead and start diving in on. I vote you go in there and start tearing it up. So we're already there. Okay, that's fantastic.
The classic mountaintop recluse combo here.
Yeah.
And there's some new stuff with mountaintop too, where you can rocket jump.
That's right.
Oh.
So I'm so glad we got to that point this early because one of the things that was really cool about sort of seeing this development process behind the scenes was, obviously one of the core tenets was to make sure that you're retaining that classic feel of these weapons and kind of what made them so great to begin with. But you've kind of done some
wonder if
redesigns and
Mountaintop
expanded even just on the
Naki's
loot
gonna
pool,
be
or
good
the loot
again.
pool, rather. How did you guys kind of go about the process of sort of rebuilding these weapons for this modern era of Destiny?
Yeah, I mean, we held off on bringing Mountaintop into the sort of modern Destiny because it was just way too strong in both PvP and in PvE.
Yeah.
In PvP, it was like a pretty unpleasant meta when Mountaintop was part of everyone's loadout, so we definitely didn't want it to be able to one-hit kill even with a direct hit in PvP anymore.
Fair.
So we've reduced that a little bit. But we also saw how excited people were for the Danger Zone rocket launcher perk, launching you into the air. So we've made that part of the base behavior of the new micro missile frame grenade launcher intrinsic. So you do super low self-damage and give yourself a massive physics impulse.
Yeah. The Team Fortress 2 soldier mains are just suddenly dusting off their rocket launchers in real time right now, obviously. So obviously too is going ahead and adding just not only to the perk pool but kind of the intrinsic feel of these weapons. Were there any others in particular when you guys were working on them where you're like, yes, this is how this change needs to go? Like obviously Magnificent Howl got to change, but is there anything else in that pool that feels like it was really kind of a cool leap forward for these weapons?
I think Blast Furnace is a good example because the Black Armory version rolled with scopes, which like everyone would just pick the best scope. Like internally, we felt like the Rasmussen ISA scope was like by far the best. Really, really clean.
Yeah.
And with the changes to damage fall off on weapons, zoom doesn't matter that much anymore anyway.
Yeah.
So it comes pre-equipped with that scope geometry, but it can roll barrels instead. So you get all the benefits of stats.
Oh,
and
awesome.
Stats are already pretty juiced.
Yeah.
But you have that classic scope geo.
Actually, also too, to channel chat one more time, as a quick heads up as well, these weapons, while they won't be craftable, they are going to be enhanceable. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah. So these weapons will retroactively be enhanceable when the final shape comes out. So any drops that you get during this initial period, you'll be able to enhance them.
Excellent. Okay, so you want to make sure to really hold on to those god rolls that Light.gg went ahead and told you about. Yeah. All right, so Tom, you've swapped your loadout now. Is this Blast Furnace we see you were?
Yeah, you were just talking about Blast Furnace, so I thought I'd hop over to it.
It's thematic, yeah.
Nice and smooth, like it always was.
Kelsey, actually too, on your side, obviously having this new tapestry of rewards to work with has been pretty exciting. As you kind of went ahead and sort of hatched your plans of how players would go about getting these, kind of what role did these weapons play, I guess, in the overall reward structure?
Yeah, of course. So we wanted the rewards of this release to be all about the weapons. I mean,
Yeah.
the Shining Stars, they're awesome. I saw people were asking a little bit about what we're going to be getting from Onslaught.
Yeah.
There's a lot of chests in there, and every single chest has a weapon in it, and all of those chests can react to attunement. So if you attune to a weapon, anytime you see a chest, it's going to happen. So
Excellent.
every set, not every wave, that'd be crazy. Every set, there's a chest with a weapon in it. If you do it at higher difficulty, there are 2 chests. They both have weapons in them. And if you keep the ADU alive throughout the entirety of Onslaught, there's another bonus chest available. So you can get a lot if you just keep yourself kicking and get all the way through there. Keep the ADU up. There's a lot of guns to be had.
So those folks who are going to dive into the Legend 50-wave version of Onslaught are going to be well rewarded for those efforts. I'm asking partially for myself, obviously, as well, and my fire team at home who might be listening.
Weapons team is really excited about attunement because it gives players some control over the drops that they get, but it retains the excitement of those drops. Like you will get your Blast Furnace dropping from the chest. You don't have to go and focus it or anything like that.
Yeah.
We love that.
Actually, also too is, you guys are also players of the game. Chris, were there any roles or weapons in particular where it was just your personal favorite that you had a lot of fun with in a playtest, or?
Probably of these weapons, my favorite is Blast Furnace.
Yeah.
With that classic scope and the role that I've got on mine, the role that I'm going to try and get in retail, is Headseeker Kill Clip, which is just really nasty in PvP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to. I'll put another few hundred hours in Crucible.
I'll be right there with you, honestly. The moment I can put Dead Man's Tale down again, then that will be the one that'll pick up immediately after. Kelsey, also too, is I know we were talking a little bit earlier. You've been deep into the Onslaught playtests as well, so that means in addition to the Brave Arsenal, you've got everything else at your beck and call. What are some cool builds you've been working on, honestly, to go ahead and really emphasize these new weapons?
Yeah, I've been really enjoying Solar Warlock. I found is really fun in Onslaught because you can find a lane and just completely nuke it if you get your like unlimited grenades going. You can just completely destroy. So I've been really partial to Luna's Howl.
Fair.
Yeah, I tend to get a little feral, a little too excited. Sometimes having like heal clip on it or something can give me that extra staying power I need to keep that ADU up.
It's part of, you got to be in the fight as much as you possibly can, and I say that partially as a Void Hunter who crutches on invisibility and runs away right away, so I understand and respect the hustle that I don't end up having. Also too, we got a question from chat from Lil Camino, I think is how you pronounce the name. My mistake if you didn't get it correct. But just to reiterate, will these weapons be attainable after the final shape arrives?
Yes, the base weapons will be, but the limited edition variants with those sweet ornaments will not.
Excellent. All right. So again, make sure you go ahead and dive on in once Into the Light is here, and make sure you get that I was there card, more or less. At least again, speaking for myself. So also too is I heard you guys mention briefly curated roles as well, because kind of like a part of the quest process, was it with Shaxx or our site rather?
With our site, yes.
Thank you. That's right. So is this one that you guys have set up where it's like this is the go-to role? This is from our opinion, like one of our favorites, or what was the process of kind of building those curated roles?
Yeah, we try to deliver something which is like an extremely good role, not necessarily the single perfect role, because we want you to have a reason to go in and get excited for those drops.
Yeah.
But like we would say, they're a 70-80% god roll.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. On the way, certainly.
Yeah.
And also too is remember everyone, we're getting 100 more vault slots once the final shape comes out, so go ahead and just farm away. Now's the time.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kelsey, were you going to say something more?
Yeah, we also just wanted to make sure people weren't completely at the mercy of RNG when it comes to getting these limited edition variants. So if you log in, you do those quests at our site, you can get one guaranteed copy of a limited edition of each weapon with that curated role.
Yeah. See, we're getting, again, I think, obviously, Tom is here in the heat of battle, so to speak, but the origin trait, we just got another question about, actually. So for the folks at home, it's Indomitability, or?
Yes.
Thank you, all right. And that one, can you, again, walk through that origin trait for us one more time?
Yeah, so on Final Blows, it grants you grenade energy if you're running a light subclass.
Oh, here we go, we got it on screen.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, which would be Arc Void or Solo, or melee energy if you're running a Darkness subclass, which would be Stasis or Strand.
Got it, okay. So I can go in there's a Stasis main and just throw all the shurikens I possibly have. Yeah, there's a more technical name for that. I'm sorry, I got it wrong out of the gate. All right, let's see here. And also too, actually, we talked kind of at the beginning about what it was like to sort of pare down this list of weapons down to 12. Can you tell us a little bit about that process? I can't imagine it was anywhere near as simple.
12 is a really small number when you're looking at that set of weapons. And if we'd gone by lists on the internet or even internally, could easily have ended up being half hand cannons. We had to restricted ourselves to 2.
Fair.
There were a lot that could easily have made the cut that we just couldn't fit them in.
That's fair. I mean, honestly, though, between Midnight Coup and Luna's Howl, like a very, very solid cast to go ahead and come out of the gate here with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really strong. And we definitely wanted to get that spread.
It's also a good thing that they didn't do
Yeah, honestly, and also too is even
a lot of weapons, because
that's, I think,
this
a
makes
set of weapons that so many of us think
you
back to so
can.
fondly.
It's more
again, I think
farming
one of the goals here was
friendly
to go ahead and retain that original feel.
for weapons.
You guys went ahead and added in a bunch of new perks. Can you tell us what that process was like in terms of making sure those perks matched up with that feel of the weapon?
Yeah, and in cases where we have multiple weapons in the same archetype shipping, so we've got 2 pulse rifles, 2 hand cannons, we assigned those to different designers and made sure that the roles that they occupy in the sandbox was sufficiently different. We also would look at the most popular roles that the weapons had originally and make sure that those still appear on the weapons. It meant having to redesign some perks, which would be too strong in today's sandbox.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But yeah, and then introducing, like when you go and you look at a blast bonus in your vault or something, like, man, I wish I could roll X perk that came out after that, right? Like, and made sure we put a few of those in there as well.
Yeah, and there's also, I'm not sure if we've seen it on screen yet, but there's a new perk that'll be joining this pool as well, won't there?
Yeah, there is. There's in this build, it's called Last Stand. The shipping name is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a pretty sweet perk. If we could bring up the description of that when Tom is out of danger.
Which weapon is that?
There was one. It was on Blast Furnace, I think. Yeah.
Let me get a
Yeah.
shot.
Oh, there we go. All right, well, we'll let him defend himself
Yes,
briefly.
yes.
But we do have a couple questions from chat as well. So there's one
What's
that's
the last
Flow
stand
Knuckles, I believe.
perk?
There we go. Can we grind Onslaught multiple times for multiple drops? I'm assuming this is just go ahead and dive on it and grind to your heart's content.
Yes, you'll be getting weapons every run. You'll also be getting
Okay.
Currency from
I like
chests
that
that
perk.
you can bring back, and you can throw in that chest that I showed you, so you can just keep opening that chest. So just keep going.
Dive on it, honestly. Yeah, go ahead and chase that roll, whatever you want. Also, too, one more quick question from chat. Mega125358, pardon me, Mega, asks, can you take the limited edition ornament off and put it on another copy of the weapon, or is it just on that one weapon?
So you can remove it. You can't put it on something else. It's
Cool.
locked to the weapon that it dropped on.
Makes sense, yeah. I mean, honestly, when it looks that good, you just gotta go ahead and stick with what you got, you know?
Yeah, if players have a favorite shader that they want to put on a weapon, they can remove it and put the shader on.
Yeah, that's true.
Can't shade the ornaments.
You can go ahead and photo finish it up to your heart's content, obviously, that opportunity. Or super black, obviously, when the time arrives. All right, let's see. So, Tom, what are you running right now?
I've just been hopping around with all the weapons here. Now I've got Blast Furnace and LC's rifle on. I know double primary isn't always meta, but
We're gonna make it meta for the sake of this
they're both
particular Lost Sector.
pretty solid weapons.
For purposes of illustration.
Now here's that new perk that you both were talking about, Last Stand. On
Again, reminder, this
Blast
name will be
Furnace.
changing in the live version.
Yep.
Yeah, so weapon final blows grant bonus damage. Melee and grenade final blows grant a larger damage bonus than
I'm
stack.
looking
So once you
forward
get
to
this perk
getting
really rolling, it's very
Blast
strong.
Furnace
You can
again.
sustain it.
I'm gonna have to
Nice,
clean
go
out
ahead
my
and clear out a
pulp.
bunch of red bars and then take down that yellow bar with ease if you go ahead and do everything correctly.
Yeah, it ties nicely into the origin trait as well, because the origin trait grants you energy for your abilities, and then you get bonus damage for getting ability final blows.
Yeah, really creates creates that loop. Honestly, you just become a self-fulfilling prophecy of death at that point, which, as a guardian, is never a bad place to find yourself, frankly. Let's see here. Actually, also too is, you know, I know we touched obviously on Chris's personal favorite being Blast Furnace. Kelsey, was there anything when you saw this land back on the list of the Brave Arsenal where you were like, finally, that one's back?
I was real excited about Luna's Howl.
I mean, that's just smart, honestly. That just makes sense. Tom, how about you? Is there anything in particular that you know, obviously having taken such a big hand in helping design and sort of define all this stuff, you know, what are your favorite weapons and roles that have come out of this?
I'm pretty basic, pretty easy. I really am excited about Recluse and Mountaintop.
Yeah.
Like I just love that combo of being able to like get in close with an SMG and get the damage perk going and feeling really powerful, then being able to switch to the grenade launcher and fire off some like little mini rockets and be able to play around with getting a little more airborne is just like, it's just fun.
Can already imagine some Strand Hunter doing that above me and then immediately diving on top of me in the crucible.
And I look forward to like, you know, not accidentally blowing myself up, but it's a lot harder to do now. Like I remember with Mountaintop back in the day, I would just like shoot my feet on purpose and like it was usually like an instant death, and so you can really you get a lot more up close and personal with it.
Yeah, let's see. Fit nicely into a lot of builds. I'm gonna say I can already see a Tommy's Matchbook build with that. Just floating up there in the sky as a warlock, just murdering everyone. But that is to say, now there's an opportunity for more than just warlocks to be the floating weapon platforms out there in the game. I know, Kelsey. I'm sorry. we can share.
Yes.
We can share the abilities.
Particularly with the redesign of Manticore, there's a fun strategy. I don't know how super effective it is, but
Yeah.
like Mountaintop to launch yourself way up into the air.
Yeah.
Switch over to Manticore.
Yeah.
And you can just hover around.
Just seems like a fever dream I had one time, honestly. Also, too, for the folks at home that may not have seen the Manticore kind of redesign, can you tell us a little bit, too, about how the intrinsic perk on that works now?
Yeah, so it's the base functionality of the way you use the weapon is fairly similar. We've tightened up its activation, so it will no longer activate if you're running downstairs and that kind of thing, which is pretty irritating. You can also just deactivate it by holding reload, and it will do that quick special reload animation.
Oh, very nice.
Before you have to wait for it to expire or like switch off the weapon.
Yeah.
And then the catalyst, instead of just giving you damage resistance, now gives you a void overshield, which
Oh, nice.
Of course, also gives you damage resistance, but
Yeah.
can tie into void builds in a pretty synergistic way.
Very nice, honestly. Yeah, between that, Devour, the whole nine, obviously, there's going to be a lot of
Oh, yeah.
mobile weapon.
Survivability is wild. It also decreases enemy accuracy against you, similar to the always on time Sparrow. So
Yeah.
you've got a ton more like damage resistance. You've got an overshield, and enemies are missing you all the time. So it's combined with being able to launch yourself up into the air easily with Mountaintop.
Yeah.
It's good fun.
That's also too, actually. We got a question from chat that is, what's the difference between the new perk and Golden Tricorn? They sound pretty similar.
They do have kind of similar functionality. The big one is that the Golden Tricorn bonus is large, but doesn't stack once you get it. So the uptime on the new perk, whose name I can't remember,
Yep.
it's not in this book, we changed it, is that the uptime is higher.
Excellent. Okay. Makes
Okay.
sense. Also, too, it's we got another chat as well. Chat question, pardon me, I should say. Will the weapon ornaments for Luna's Howl and the Recluse be equipable for the new versions of those weapons?
Yes, they will.
Oh, awesome.
Both for the base versions and for the variants, you can equip any ornaments that you've got. Players have already noticed that some of those are showing up later in the season
Yeah.
in the Bright Dust Storm.
For anyone out there that might go ahead and check through the databases, they might have noticed something potentially.
Yep.
Yeah, we can't say yes or no, but maybe. Firm maybe, certainly. Excellent. All right, so we're doing a pretty good job here. Tom, I got to say, it seems like you're making some pretty good, quick work of these lost sectors.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like he's played them before.
Maybe once or twice, potentially? You never know.
I did work on EDZ. It's been a while, though.
So Tom, actually also too is, as you've kind of been helping sort of build a lot of what Into the Light is going to be,
Lost
what was the
sector.
role that these weapons played? Like why is Shaxx choosing now to go ahead and re-equip us with this particular set of antiquities?
And part of the idea is that it's like this forbidden arsenal, right? The things that aren't, that we've kind of set aside, at least in the Crucible and other spaces, and now in this kind of dire time with our backs against the wall, we need to, kind of set aside those conventions and really take every advantage we can in the fight against the Witness, and kind of like having players in this moment, with Into the Light, it's a great time to hop in and play if you haven't been playing, or if you want to catch up, and we're going to give you the weapons you need to be ready for the final shape. Like as long as you show up every week, you do the work, you're going to get like an incredible arsenal.
Yeah, particularly if you had been like looking at some of the meta heavy grenade launchers. You can just walk in and get Edge Transit and like be like competitive already.
Yeah. And also too, I just got word from back at home that also Noah is apparently back at home after last week's stream in chat, cheering everyone on. So if everyone out there wants to give him a quick yeah, great in chat, now's the time. He's listening. Excellent. Alrighty.
I really like auto-loading Hoster on Mountaintop.
Oh yeah.
I've
Feels
got
strong.
I've got a Fighting Lion, Pardon Our Dust loadout that obviously hinges pretty heavily on auto-loading holster because I never want to stop shooting any grenades. I'm one of those. I'm sorry, everyone. We're getting some love for Noah in the chat. All right, love to see it. So also too, actually, over the course of developing kind of this new reward structure, was there anything about it where you're like, all right, this is the moment, like Onslaught is set up just right. Like, what was it like kind of building this structure for players to go ahead and just reinvest in, I guess?
Yeah. I think when we finally got the loot explosion going,
Yeah.
there's this whole conversation and how we want it to feel when you open the chest and all this stuff, and all these people working together doing tech stuff to make sure it all worked great and everyone doing their part, and then finally getting in there and just running through and seeing everything just like I guess all of your work just like flying through the air in space was just really satisfying, and it really felt like it was coming together. I'm also really partial to when we start getting more icons and world art coming in. The space really started to feel tangible when Shaxx finally had the guns in his hands in the and all the hollow Shaxxes for a while. They're just like this,
Did you guys have that vision of the Hollow Shaxxes like right away? You were like, this is how we want it to be, or was it just what was the evolution of that space like when you guys were building it?
It was really fun working with world art and all this stuff. We had a bunch of people in the room, everyone who's dedicated to the space in some capacity, and we were just brainstorming together and laughing and coming up with all these fun ideas. So it was a huge collaborative process, and I think that's what's so magical about working in games is you get to work with all these people who know all these things that you don't. makes something so cool and awesome.
Yeah. Actually, also too, we got one more quick question from chat that caught my eye. Is the Master of Arms perk as powerful as before?
No, it's had to be toned down a little bit.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still very strong. But yeah, that original version is pretty wild.
Kind of in a league of its own, certainly. All right, Tom. So what's your strat right now? Is it basically just Old West gunslinger?
I mean, I haven't had a chance to play with all these guns either, so I'm just having fun over here. Like you can do your stream over there. I'm just gonna play with Midnight Coup here, which just it just feels so snappy and crispy. Like I just gotta point it in the right direction. And it does a lot of the work.
Do like
explosive
the
rounds and
Luna's
kinetic
How.
tremors, is that what it has? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Like you can just, you don't even really need to be that accurate, I guess, with this roll. I can just kind of shoot around enemies. And
Make
it
them
does-
dance like in the Old West.
Pretty sure this is still the highest aim assist of any.
I'm surprised they didn't bring back
Oh,
Revoker.
is that so?
Yeah.
What are some roles, by the way? So obviously, I think they each kind of have their different PvP and PvE flavors. But in the PvE trenches, are there any roles in particular with this new kind of set of perks that you were really caught off guard by or surprised by?
I mean, Firefly Kinetic Tremors is really, really strong. I think that was actually the role that Noah was running
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah, he was making it look pretty good,
Yeah,
thankfully.
he's smart.
And Noah's all right at the game, as it turns out.
Yeah. What else? I think the role that we've got here on Edge Transit, which is Cascade Point left column,
Yeah.
being able to just like mag dump
Yeah.
a whole drum grenade launcher, it's really strong.
Yeah.
The burst damage potential is wild.
And also, too, actually, another question from chat. To get the double perk rolls on the weapons, do you have to do higher level onslaughts, or is there a chance for them to drop with double perks in each column regardless?
There is always a chance. Those are the limited edition variants. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, too, just a quick reminder is the quests from from our site, rather. Those ones have a higher chance of giving you one of the limited edition variants, or?
Those give you the curated ones, right? The
Yes,
Curated?
those
That's
are
right,
the curated
thank you.
ones. So pretty much that's a guarantee that you can get them. But anytime you get a brave weapon, there's a chance that it will have the double perks and the awesome appearance on it. So
Very
that
cool.
was actually a really fun thing. Once it kind of got that implemented, playing through the first time, you just naturally got one.
Yeah.
Like you'll be in a playtest, and I got one. I got
Yeah.
a limited edition one. It's just a really fun,
It's
fun
kind of
feeling.
even just that excitement of like when you're out there doing a dungeon farm or whatever the case is, and you're checking through all the guns that are sitting in your mailbox, and you're just like, oh, that initial set of rolls is pretty cool, and then you click in and you're like, wait, I can curate this to exactly what I want it to be. Like that moment's always pretty rewarding, honestly. So as a quick reminder to everyone in chat, so the Brave Arsenal will be able to drop from Onslaught at every stage, was it? Every 10 levels?
Yes, every set.
Excellent. Okay, set. Thank you very much. All right. See, we have the experts here, obviously. All right, Tom. What's next on the list? Which lost sector is going to wilt against your powers?
I think I'm gonna go, and I don't know what it's called, but it's on the top of the rocks here. I think, right? That's where it's at? I'm trying to remember.
So you just go ahead and drop on down in.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Those fallen aren't going to be safe for long.
Yeah. Can't die from full damage anymore.
It's true. Who could possibly do that? That's what we have the mountaintop to do, or to use for rather to get those kills on ourselves.
Oh, wrong way. This is the right way.
And actually, also too, so a lot of questions in chat about the pools of perks that are going to be available, the weapons that are going to be available. You and your team over on the weapons team have also gone ahead and authored a blog that will be hitting Bungie.net tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, that's going to list out all of the weapons and all of the perks that can appear on them. So
Yeah.
no mystery about the perk rules as of tomorrow.
Yeah, excellent. So there will be plenty of opportunities for all the build crafters out there to go ahead and go nuts and kind of imagine their most exciting opportunities, really. Actually, so also too, we've talked a lot about the Brave Arsenal. Let's go ahead and touch on the parade set again. What was kind of the inspiration behind that set and kind of bringing it forward now? This is kind of like a first full circle moment, rather, that I know Tom was mentioning. But why is Shaxx choosing now to equip us with this armor set?
I frankly wasn't as involved in those kind of conversations.
No, it's okay.
It was actually really
Here we go.
fun. Oh, it looked beautiful.
Yeah.
Kind of waiting to see how we're gonna end up looking in the end, because we weren't
Yeah.
really sure right away which armor set we were getting, and
Here we
we were
go.
so excited to see him in the chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think honestly that first look at them in the key art. Obviously there was an initial
Different
glimpse,
gun.
and it's weird because even as good as they looked, they were almost like everyone was just immediately captivated by Onslaught, immediately captivated by like, is that Blast Furnace in that Warlock's hands? Who knows?
If you're trying to bring back players' favorites, like there is so much nostalgia for that Parade armor set.
Yeah.
Like, bringing that back and updating it a little bit. Like I still run the Parade armor set on my character from
Yeah.
time to time. So
Gotta have that classic look, obviously.
Transmog, yeah.
And obviously getting a chance to go ahead and chase down Super Black doesn't hurt either.
Looks very cool when you break it out of containment. Won't say much.
Yeah, it's super black shader looks nice.
So let's go ahead and take one more quick run through. So is there anything else actually? So I know we've had a chance to walk through the Brave Arsenal. Tom, in particular on your side, we've gone ahead and kind of gone around the horn over here. Is there anything about this kind of new set of weapons and sort of the role they play in Into the Light that's got you excited about kind of the overall sandbox now that we're going to have available to us?
I'm really excited about a lot of these weapons. They're not god rolls, but they're pretty
might
close to
have
it.
to
Like
just
if
go back
you
to bed for a
show
bit.
up every week and you do the weekly quest, you're going to get something that is really pretty powerful. And it's going to be like, for example, just looking at like the Hammerhead here, it's got rampage and killing tally on it. That's just incredible.
Never stops
like for PvE, it just never stops firing, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then you're also increasing damage every time you take an enemy out, which is cool. And like I could look at each one of these weapons too, and they like I think we might have glossed over it earlier, but the Edge Transit with Cascade Point, like you get a kill and then you can dump the whole mag in like 2 or 3 seconds, which is really powerful. And I think people are going to find a lot of great synergies between these weapons. Like I was even like Mountaintop, Recluse, and Cascade Edge Transit felt great. Like I could like use the SMG while my Mountaintop is reloading, and then like getting kills with those activates Cascade Point, and I can swap over and dump the mag for Edge Transit, and like I could see similar things with Hammerhead and Forbearance, or with Elsie's rifle.
Yeah.
And then like there's also just some classic weapons here that I really miss that I'm really excited for Blast Furnace to be back, and I'm excited to see what it does to the meta with these being like relevant in the power game again and being something that is accessible to players new and old.
Yeah. Someone who spends a lot of time in the Crucible, I'm terrified already. Proctor, thank you very much for all the hard work on that. To you and yours, obviously. All right, so I think we're probably getting to a point now. We've gone ahead and checked out the rewards. We've checked out the new social space. We've checked out the Brave Arsenal. It's probably about time for us to go ahead and start wrapping things up here. Mr. Tom Farnsworth, when you get an opportunity, feel free to go ahead and rejoin us. Relinquish your hold from the throne world, obviously. This is so fast. Your jump ship was right in orbit, wasn't it?
Right here.
I hear it's lovely this time of year out there in the throne world.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's Noah and Kelsey have been keeping it warm for me in there.
That's true. All right, fair enough. Yeah, and again, we can use some sword logic later to expand it when the time comes. But for right now, we've gone ahead and done our job. Well, for starters, thank you all so much for taking time to join us to talk us through, obviously, the Hall of Champions, talk us through the Brave Arsenal, through everything with Into the Light. It's been a great show. So thank you guys for starters for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely. And also, too, as a quick reminder, again, to everyone, we'll be back next week, the same Bungie time, same Bungie place, to have another live stream about everything, or some more stuff coming with Destiny 2 Into the Light, including some exotic mission, some exotic mission content and the craftable weapons that'll be available to them. Chat, I saw you mentioning some stuff about that potentially, so come back next week. Also, we'll be going to go ahead and walk through the PvP map pack as well. So if you want to see everything that's going to be coming in those 3 maps, next week will be your time. And there might be a few more additional surprises that we'll have in store for you. Never know. And also, too, the final thing we're going to go ahead and make sure you close with is, as a quick reminder, of course, with the arrival of the final shape, you'll be able to get 100 more slots in your vault. As you can go ahead and see here on camera, we put it to good use ourselves. We had some Edge Transit rolls. We knew that this was the time and place to go ahead and slot them in there. So we now have those, thankfully, in safekeeping now for the arrival of the Witness.
Ready.
Never hurts. All right, everyone. Well, thank you all so much for taking the time to join us today. We'll see you back here next week at the same Bungie time, same Bungie place. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you all Starside.